They're discriminating against males, because of who they represent. They're the light of the world, salt of the earth. They may be weak, light, and salt without flavor, because they've been turned away from their fathers. But evil knows it, and it uses women to destroy. That's why, to destroy men. That's why in the home, the children don't even have a chance, because evil come through the gates of the woman. It comes through the gate. She is the gates of hell. But if you forgive, you can overcome it, men and women. I was yesterday in the fellowship. May. Was it May, Sean? May said to me, every time you say that parents hate their children, I just can't believe it. I just have a hard time with that. But then when I explained to her what it really is, she's like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. But whether you accept it or not, at least I'm putting the word out there. I'm just a messenger. I am just the messenger. So just Jesse with this message. And it's not my message. I didn't plan to bring the message. It just happened. Somebody else had a greater plan than me because they know me better than you. Or better than I know myself, to be honest. The gates of hell come through the woman. All women. There's not one. And there are all women who have started to acknowledge this. They're like, I was angry when I first heard you say that. I got mad. I turned you off. I don't want to hear it. But then I thought about it. And they start looking at themselves. They realize, you know what? I am doing this. It is coming through me. And they're starting to get over it. It's amazing to see it. And that's all it takes is really for you. Nobody else. But for you to acknowledge that you're angry. Anger is evil. You're hateful and nasty and rotten to the core. You're filled with evil spirits. And that's why you destroy your own children. And men who still have the nature of their mothers are evil and heartless, nasty, evil to the core. And as wicked as the female because he has her nature, which is of evil. No power at all, but just thrills and evil nature. And they would do whatever they can to try to destroy you. Because they work for the devil. They have decided, whether knowingly or not, that they're going to work for evil. And then there are those men and women who have decided, you know what, I ain't working for evil. I don't want to be in this mess. And they overcome. But mothers, you are destroying your own children. You set them up to have the exact life that you have because you don't have love. You have not forgiven your mothers. You have not forgiven your fathers. You have not returned to your father, earthly father, so you have not returned to God. And going to church and read the Bible and quote scripture ain't going to do it. And singing holy songs ain't going to do it. It just makes you feel like you're holy, and you're not. It gives you a false sense of the future. You sing it, oh, Lord, I lift my hand to thee. No other help I know. Don't you feel like you're already home? Lord, I lift my hand to thee. No other help I know. I lift my hand. Doesn't that feel safe? Like you got something to look forward to? It's all an illusion. Either you're born again or you're not. And believe me, listen to some of the people going through the death pain of the ego. It ain't easy. Because they make it difficult thinking that the pain is them. But mothers, women, you're destroying your own children. And you're to blame, not the father, but you. The father's to blame for not protecting his children from you in the right way. With love and not hate. With love and not anger. And women don't know how to punish children because they don't have the love to. They don't have the light. And lo and behold, the punishment of the mother is killing. It's crazy. It kills the spirit of the innocent child. It's worse than abortion. It's worse than abortion. What mothers are doing to the soul of the children is worse than abortion because it kills the soul. What does it profit a man that he save his body, preserve his body, and destroy his soul? A mama's love is not special. Either they'll shower you with a faucet of mama's love or punishing you. Watch this from the New York Times. Former YouTuber, parenting host to serve up to 30 years in prison for child abuse. Ruby Franke documented her strict parenting strategies on social media, which included punishing her children by refusing to feed them. She was arrested last year. Watch this compilation.
A Utah mother who once offered parenting advice on her popular YouTube channel will spend up to 30 years in prison for child abuse.
The kids, I said, I'm not even going to let you eat breakfast until you get your chores done.
I know that her teacher is uncomfortable with her being hungry and not having a lunch. So the natural outcome is she's just going to need to be hungry.
Franke's brutal approach to parenting came to light last August when her 12-year-old son escaped to a neighbor's house begging for help. Authorities said he was malnourished, covered in wounds, and bound with duct tape.
He's emaciated. He's got tape around his legs. He's hungry and he's thirsty. He's obviously covered in wounds.
In her plea deal, the 42-year-old admitted to kicking her son while wearing boots, holding his head underwater, and covering his mouth and nose with her hands.
To my babies, my 6 little chicks, you're a part of me.
Amazing. I cried over you. What a fool I've been. And some of you say, I never treat my children like that. You treat them worse than that, too. When you mother them, when you pretend to be a nice mama, when you impose your will on them, try to make them do life the way you want it. When you yell at them to clean your room now. When you spoil them. When you throw a computer in their lap, in their hands, as soon as they pop out of the womb. When you go to work and leave them with a babysitter and you're married and don't have to go to work. You're as bad as this woman, allegedly, these allegations, this woman, even worse. A nice mother is as bad as that woman, or even worse because she appeared to be nice. And the kids think it's the father. It's all evil. And I'm telling the ladies this because they're screwing up their own children, and some of them don't know it. They really just don't know that their anger is evil. And it's not them, but it's that spirit that made a home in them that was passed down from their mothers. You must be born again. You must return to the Father. Otherwise, you won't help but recreate your children in your image, and the cycle starts all over again. And that person and those kids' generation with them, through them and with them. And crying about it ain't going to do nothing. Only forgiveness would change it. According to today's.com, the dad was absolutely shocked by the child abuse allegation. The dad had not recently seen his children at all, as Rudy wanted to separate while they worked on their marriage. And I guarantee you, with all that is within me, this mother, if this is true, that she would treat those kids in that way, she would get a thrill from it. There was excitement in it. She may call the excitement anger. She may call it feel good. She may call it frustration. She may call it something else, but it's still an ego, evil excitement. I want you to encourage you, because you can prove me wrong. Because I want you to know for yourself, not because I said it. I'm just Jesse, working on Jesse, as I'm teaching or being taught. But I want you to watch the thrill you get when you try to hurt others, or when you try to appease others, when you try to get something from others, or whatever. Watch the thrill you get, the good soft thrill or the bad thrill. When you're playing nice, or when you're being evil. Watch your thrill, and then see the thrills in others when they're doing it to you. It's all evil. It's all emotional. This is from X. This is what child abuse look like. This is from Brutal Fights. Watch this.
So, you be disrespectful to the teacher? Oh, you know you finna get your ass beat, right? Wait, I'm fucking and I'm not paying. So what you tell her? What you say? Get your ass. Get up. Don't play with me. Now talk to her. You know, talk. Get your mother back here now, nigga. Where? Oh, we gonna have this problem anymore. But don't play with make me get that call again. You ain't think I was coming up here on your You lucky I was trying to find you in that classroom. I will whoop you where you act up at.
That's evil. That is why black generation after generation and after generation for the last 70 years or so are out there doing what they're doing, robbing, raping, carjacking, killing one another, breaking into people's homes. That's why they're doing it, because of that kind of mother, even a nice black mother like that. That's why the kids are doing it. It has nothing to do with racism. It has nothing to do with white people. It has nothing to do with slavery, Jim Crow, or whatever, systemic racism and all that mess. They're lying to you. It's that. Look how nasty the black women in government are today. They have no respect for anyone. They're just nasty. They are raising children, some of them. And this is what they're doing to the children. And they think, women like that think that they're being men. That's not even how men act. That's evil. Men don't yell and beat their children like that unless they totally have the mama spirit. That's evil. But that's why I tell you there's no such thing as racism, sexism, homophobism, Allah-u-Abba-ism, anti-Semitism, white supremacism. This is evil. It's a spiritual battle, and it starts in the home. Who do you think that boy's life going to turn out? Do you think he's going to be happy now? He's becoming like his mother. She snatched him out because something happened in a classroom somewhere, and you see what she did. Maybe, you see what I'm talking about? Even a Christian mother traumatized their children in that way. You traumatize your children in that way, forcing the Bible down their throat. Believe in Jesus. You're doing the same thing to them that woman is doing and beating the children. And you can't see what you're doing because you won't look at yourself. You must be born again. You must return to the Father. And you're never going to know how to raise your children until you overcome anger. You're not going to see how to do it. Nobody can teach you how to raise your children. Only God can guide you because He is working through you to raise the children, not you. Of myself, I can do nothing. There's not one person on earth that can do anything. You know nothing, and you can't do anything. It's all a lie. You can't raise your children on your own. You don't know what to do, especially with the anger, because the devil is raising your children through you and for you, and you take the glory for it. Watch this other extreme, and it's destroying the children. Watch this baby and them from Instagram.
It's just me and my mom, so of course I'm going to take the trash out for her, even though it's heavy.
It's just me and my son, so of course we have a secret handshake.
Two lives.
It's just me and my son, so of course I'm gonna hold him and rock him like he's my little baby, even though he's 6 years old. It's just me and my son, so of course I taught him how to use his manners.
Excuse me. Yes, please. No, thank you. You're welcome.
It's just me and my son, so of course I'm gonna kiss him and hug him until he gets tired of me. Mommy, can you mommy hug?
Amazing. That's evil. That is pure evil. Only thing Satan did was lay down the belt and dressed up on the outside. That boy would be destroyed. He would become a mama's boy. His mama would become his best friend, and he would hate her. Inwardly, he's going to be miserable. Already probably, but even worse. And because you don't see the evil operating through you, you can't see it operating through others. You cannot see it. You call it something else. Now, most people are going to see that video. Oh, look. Oh, she loved that little boy. She loved her baby. No, she does. She hate him. And she's carrying on like that for the thrill of pretending that she loved. She has no business treating that boy that way, period. Neither one of those women. And the first one up there, none of them. But they can't help it. Women don't have love. Mothers do not have love. And a blind person would call it, oh, look, how are you going to say that's not love? That's hate. That's for her thrill. That's for her. It does nothing for the boy. It ain't for the boy. It's not for the child. It's for her. I've noticed that in my country, America, that constructive guidance is ending rapidly. If you try to point someone in the right way, you are hated for it. But if you point them in the wrong way, you're glorified for it. Isn't that amazing? It's amazing my country has changed like this. But I understand it. I'm saying these things, but now I understand. Before I didn't understand why it was happening, but I do now. And above all things, get an understanding. Get an understanding. I now understand. If you try to point them in the right way, you're hated for it. And that's why you have to let other people's children just suffer and die. They're not yours. And if the parents don't care enough about their own children to take care of them, why should you? You know what I mean? You didn't make that baby. It's not yours, and you're not responsible. And ain't no such thing as take a village. That's another made-up lie. Talking about constructive guidance, according to Rumble.com, Ring Kendall hit a nerve with the social media mob by teaching children to be respectful to the police. Watch this from X.
How you doing, sir? Doing good. From Franke with Albany Police Department. First thing I want to do is already have my stuff ready, okay?
Yes, sir.
You don't want to get to the freaking car, and when he gets to the car, you got to go fumbling around looking for stuff, right? Regardless of whether they should or shouldn't feel unsafe, that makes somebody feel unsafe, you fumbling around, because things happen, right?
Yes, sir.
So when they get there, the first thing you want to do is already have your license ready and have your hands on the steering wheel, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Have your hands on the steering wheel, why?
Because before they don't think you reach for them.
So you're not reaching for stuff, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. And another thing I want to do I'm gonna let all my windows down, okay? I ain't got nothing to hide, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna let all my windows down in the car, and if it's nighttime, I'm gonna turn the car light on so he can see everything in the car, right?
Yes, sir.
We already starting the stop off great. He probably in a good mood that I done let the window down, I done turned the lights on. He probably in a better mood now, right? We not talking smack, we not cussing, we not telling them what our rights is, blase, blase, blah. We not doing none of that, you understand?
Yes, sir.
We trying to get home.
What's wrong with that, right? I mean, teaching the children how to respect the cops and how to be stopped, it should be already taught in the home. The parents set their children up to overreact when the cops stop them by telling. They're teaching them at home what to expect, what to do. You're black and be scared and be ready. This guy teaching them the right thing. But if the parents were right, they wouldn't have to teach the children that. They will automatically know that. No one ever sat me down or anyone I know down and tell them, well, when the cops stop you, here's what you should do. But over the years, I do know, and I remember when I first started my nonprofit 34 years ago or so, the parents, the black representatives and some of the parents were teaching the children that the cops hated them and that you're black and when the cops stop you, it's racist. So the kids are already mad because they, in their mind, which is not their own, by the way, they are thinking, well, the cops stopped me because I'm black. My parents said it. The representative said it. You should have to teach the kids this. But this man is teaching that, and the folks got mad because they don't want the children to be right. They want them angry. They want them violent. They want them out of control. They make money when these kids act that way. You get government programs and DNI, or whatever. You make a lot of money when the blacks are violent. And they go in your pocket, not even the kid's pocket. That's amazing. That's right on to the guy that's trying to teach them that. And I want to know what's wrong with picking cotton. I would tell my producer, Sean, this morning that I know there's a stigma on picking cotton now, but it's a made-up stigma. And the traders have made that look bad because they wanted to look like slavery, and the blacks are suffering, and they're doing that for personal gain as well. They want to try to make racism exist, and so they can get money from that, programs and things like that, speaking events and stuff like that. I never thought of picking cotton as a stigma, and I grew up doing it. I grew up picking cotton, right? And not once did I hear my grandparents or my parents or the other people that lived on the plantation and worked in the cotton field with us, not once did I hear them say, oh, this is a stigma. They were just going to work and trying to pick as much as possible so when they weigh the cartons at the end of the day, they can make as much money as possible. They never thought of it as a stigma, but you've been lied to and made to believe that that's what it is because you're gullible. You've been lied to about picking cotton. Isn't that amazing? And now it's a stigma. And it's not, folks. It was a job. It was like cutting grass or anything else that you did. It's a job. It's like going to work at a car dealership or building cars or whatever. It was just a job. It wasn't thought of as this way. You've been so brainwashed that it's hard. Picking cotton is not a stigma. And what happened was, just like they do with everything now, when they start computerizing everything, they make machines that will pick cotton. It will go faster. I guess it costs less or whatever, and then people had to stop. They moved away or they went to the city, got manufacturing job or something. but it was never a stigma. You've been lied to. I'm telling you that because I picked the cotton. And I may buy a plantation and take everybody back so they can pick cotton and learn how to work and be proud of working and not ashamed of working, no matter what kind of work you did. Here's from ABC, a black farmer looked to rethink the stigma of picking cotton. Watch this compilation.
And just like that, cotton planting season has begun. My name is Julius Tillery. I'm the founder of BlackCotton.us. I'm a fifth-generation cotton farmer from Northampton County, North Carolina.
You're trying to change the brand of cotton within black culture.
Absolutely. It is important for us as a black-owned family farm to be able to support our community through our products, such as our green leafy vegetables and our cotton. We are from an area that raises a lot of cotton, so we wanted to make cotton something that we could be proud of.
Cotton is our culture. And Julius came up with this idea of taking his cotton and turning it into a raw product. For us to actually get the cotton out the field, we still had to do it by hand, but we cut them down and stuff them in boxes. We could either break it down in bulbs, we pull the cotton out to make husk, or either we will use the cotton and we'll clean it by hand and we'll turn it to some bouquets, we'll turn it to a wreath. We'll turn it into a vase arrangement, and we make husk jewelry with it as well.
A lot of times we're raised to believe that we don't have opportunities that close to us, or that we have to go out to find them. And that may be true, but sometimes if we look around at what's around us and the assets around us, we can be able to build opportunities and connect with people all across the world. If I don't create a new history for us, it will always be a bad history. So I think it's really important that the work I do to help and foster a better ideal around cotton is important.
Wow. Amazing. God bless that man. Right on. When I see that, the tractor, the farmland out there, the cotton, I'm sitting here thinking, oh, I wish I was in Dixie. Hooray, hooray. Way down yonder, Dixie. Hooray, hooray. Man, that bring back memories. See how relaxed those guys are, and they love what they're doing, and it's just natural, and it ain't about racism. It just fell off the horse. The horse fell, but it's not about racism or any of that. That's how it was, folks. You've been lied to. It was like that. Right on, Mr. Farmer. I love that. Isn't that amazing? Not all this mess that you see now. Everything and everybody is made to be wrong. They taking everything that's good and they turn it into something bad, and you believe it. You just believe it because you're a dummy. You just believe it because you're not a free thinker. And you act on it. That's crazy. I love that so much. So according to Breitbart.com, Donald Trump has won Michigan's Republican primary as he continues his charge toward the GOP presidential nomination. Watch this compilation.
Former President Trump defeating Nikki Haley in the Michigan primary yesterday. But Nikki Haley again says she has no plans of dropping out.
This isn't about him. It's about the American people. You have to have somebody on the ticket that can win a general election.
Also, President Biden winning the Democrat primary in Michigan, despite more than 100,000 Democrats voting uncommitted in an act of protest against Biden's support for Israel's war on Gaza.
Go through some of these numbers really quickly. Joe Biden getting in this poll of Michigan, black Michigan voters, 49% of the vote. Trump seemed high to me at 26%. Did that surprise you? And 9% for Kennedy.
It did.
This is what Joe Biden received. Again, forgive me, 1,141 votes, and uncommitted 3,703 votes. So that's a wow. This is a place President Biden carried big time in 2020. This is key to his chances of defeating Donald Trump in Michigan.
Amazing. And so I guess the Muslims didn't vote for him because they want to, quote unquote, free Palestine. What the? Nikki Haley said that we need someone on, something like, I quote it exactly. We need someone on the ticket that can defeat Biden. We have someone, dummy, on the ticket that can defeat Biden. And his name is Donald Trump. That's why everybody voted for him. And he's on the ticket. So go sit down. Amazing. Well, congratulations to the great white hope. Let me see what he has to say this morning. I just don't know. He had another victory.
Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Well, that was perfect. Right after that's what he would say after the campaign. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you, and God bless you, and God bless America. Amazing. Yesterday, we showed you some examples of constructive guidance, which is rare in my country today. And it was really good construction. Well, today I want to give you a couple examples of destructive guidance, which is prevalent in America today. Hell on earth, right? This is from the New York Times. Jon Stewart returned as host of The Daily Show. Some of y'all know Jon Stewart. Well, he returned as host of The Daily Show, the Comedy Central news satire he turned into a cultural force before leaving back in August 2015. Here are some clips from The Daily Show and X.
The truth is, America has always prioritized white comfort over black survival. Black people have had to fight so hard for equality that they've been irreparably set back in the pursuit of equity.
My feeling is white people have a very, very serious problem, and they should start thinking about what they can do about it.
This is why, because the Jewish community and the black community, we should be together. Jews and blacks we shouldn't fight, there shouldn't be tension. Jews and blacks should get together and get whitey. I think.
Wow. And he was allowed to say that on TV. Could any white man say whites and blacks? Is he Jewish? Whites, yes, I've been told he is. Whites and blacks should be able to get together, get back at the Jews, get Jews. And the people laugh. Could a white man say that? When will the whites just say no? Are you going to let them drive you completely into the ground in your own country? That is destructive guidance. You are supposed to love all and pray for all, even your enemy. This is from the New York Times. Here's an example of Jon Stewart, Jon Stewart being a beta. This is from Deadline.com. Things got emotional for Jon. Oh, you think? Things got emotional for Jon Stewart 3 episodes into his return. The political commentator announced, what? Tissue, please. Get your tissues ready. Tissue, please. Things got emotional for Jon Stewart. Here he is talking about, the blacks and the Jews, we need to stick together. The Jews and the blacks need to stick together and go after the whites. Group thinking, right? And on the other hand, according to Deadline.com, things got emotional for Jon Stewart. 3 episodes into his return, the political commentator announced that, tissue please, his dog Dipper had died the night before. Why? Wait a minute. Watch this from The Daily Show.
We called him Dipper. And in a world of good boys, he was the best. He used to come to The Daily Show every day. But boy, my wish for you is one day you find that dog, that one dog.
What a beta! Boo-hooing over a dog. I want you to watch this from this terrible female. Evil to the core. Evil just, this female is so evil, it just drips off of her. This is from beststock.com. And it doesn't matter how much money she has, she's never going to let go of the lie as long as she can use it for her benefit. This is from beststock.com. With an estimated annual salary of $1.5 million, Joy Reid holds one of the most prominent positions with MSNBC's programming lineup. Watch this from our Salon Talks.
It is difficult because you understand the country has never loved us, right? I mean, it was legal to kill black people up until probably the 1970s. I mean, to be a black person in, 2024 in America is to be in a state of complete perplexed confusion about what is wrong with a country that hates your history, and to find out that literally Barack Obama's 2 terms as president are your reparations. And Juneteenth, which you already celebrated anyway, is your reparations. And yet, you built this country. You literally physically built this country. And yet, the attitude toward you from a lot of your peers and your fellow citizens is just shut up and be grateful. And it's infuriating. And that.
Well, it must not be working because you sure ain't shutting up and being grateful with all that money. And you're on TV. It's like no matter how much they get, the more they want. It's like the more you get, the more I want. Can't get enough of your love, babe. They can't get enough of money and perceived power. She's lying to the blacks about the white man holding them back. Fox, Joy Reid suggests Alabama Republicans want forced birth. Watch this from TikTok.
The United States has a population of north of 327 million people. Why do we need more kids? I mean, your party, Senator Tuberville, is the one screaming that 10 million immigrants, which I don't even know that number even makes any sense because it doesn't, have streamed into the country since Joe Biden has been president, and you're claiming that that's too many people, that if more people come into the southern border, this is some sort of crisis. But now you're saying we need more kids? Can you explain who's the we and what's the purpose? I mean, you're also a white guy. Are you saying the we is white folks need more kids?
Yes.
White people?
That's what I'm saying.
Need to make white women have more kids? And
yes.
That's the we and that's the why? Because it's a little creepy.
You creepy. We need white babies. We need white babies. That's why we celebrate White History Month in July. Because we need more white babies. And this evil Joy Reid tried to make a big deal out of that. The most hated, and this is why they hate white people, the most hated religion on this side of heaven, the number one hated religion on this side of heaven is Christianity. And they associate Christianity with whites. And so they're trying to destroy white people. And in their mind, which are all thoughts, are all lies all the time, they think by destroying white people, they're going to destroy Christianity. But that's what happens when you're angry, you can't see. According to Fox, reporters say Christian nationalists believe Americans' rights come from God, not from Congress, nor the Supreme Court. Watch this from MSNBC and Capitol TV.
One thing that unites all of them, because there's many different groups orbiting Trump, but the thing that unites them as Christian nationalists, not Christians, by the way, because Christian nationalists is very different, is that they believe that our rights as Americans, as all human beings, don't come from any earthly authority. They don't come from Congress. They don't come from the Supreme Court. They come from God.
the phrase shall not be infringed by the Constitution of the United States. We are tired of being overregulated. We're tired of being taxed until we're near penniless. We're tired of seeing state-run programs being ran inefficiently, ineffectively, and wastefully. To summarize, we're tired of our uncontrollable government. America was conceived out of defiance, and we not only have a constitutional right as free Americans, but also an inalienable right as human beings to defy any and all laws that are unjust. We will not comply.
Amazing. That dumb female seemed to believe that the rights come from Congress or somebody. But rights come from God. Only God. No human being can give you any rights. That's why this idea about civil rights movement was a lie and is a lie. What happens, I'm telling you, if you really examine your own life, including your mother, you'll see that every time you listen to that woman, you had to pay a price for it. It didn't turn out well. I'm proud of what woman it is. Here's an example, and it started with Adam listening to the woman. But Christ made it where you can reverse that order by forgiving your mother. And you're no longer subject to the woman, you're subject to God only. You're not subject to a man or a woman or anyone or anything. Once you return to that order of God and Christ, Christ and man, man over woman, woman over children. Here's an example of worshiping women. Watch this from TikTok.
First night in Aspen.
Going to dinner at the hotel tonight, and damn, my Snow Bunny Pookie is looking absolutely fire. Babe, the all black with a touch of pink is a knockout. So what are you wearing?
Thank you. I'm wearing Meow top, Danielle Guzio little shrug with the fur, and an Amanda Pritchard skirt and my Kelly.
Fantastic. I am wearing a Gutteridge jacket from Capri, Italy, a Brooks Brothers shirt, alligator belt, Paige jeans, of course, and Nile Crocodile Allen's boots from Austin, Texas tonight.
I love the pink. We kind of match.
Yes.
Worshiping the woman, and behind closed doors, he's miserable. He's catching pure hell. And she hate him. And apparently, this couple does this a lot. Watch this from TikTok.
Last night out in Paris, just want to say how proud I am of my wonderful wife, babe. You're everything to me, and you're the best person I know. So proud of you.
I was not expecting that. Love you.
Nobody deserves more than you, babe.
Aww.
You look absolutely amazing.
I'm wearing a cat suit from Revolve, and my heels are La Femme that look like YSL. Jacket is vintage from my mom, and bag is YSL from Forward.
I would call that outfit badass. I'm wearing a Xenia jacket, a cashmere turtleneck, Paige jeans as always, and Allen's boots.
I love the turtleneck. It's a vibe.
Beta, right? What? Just imagine what's going to happen if it's not already happening when he stopped doing all that with her, for her. All hell going to break loose. And he's still catching hell, believe me, because he's worshiping the woman. And that woman hate him for it. According to the New York Post, comedian Ari Shafir has gone viral for sharing a surprise date he planned for his ex-girlfriend. The date story was a hit online, with women absolutely loving how much effort a man had put in. Watch this from YMH Studios.
What is the sweetest thing you've ever done for someone?
I said to a lady, I said, clear a weekend for me. What are we doing? Don't worry about that. Clear the weekend. She's like, oh, where are we going? I'm like, don't worry about that. Just pack it back. We start driving and driving. About an hour and a half later, we hit the Mississippi border. We get through the town of Philadelphia, Mississippi. And then next day, got up, went to get breakfast. She's, what's going on? She's like, you'll see. Got some breakfast at some diner, then started driving around the town. Dolly Parton's playing. She doesn't play anymore.
I know.
She stopped. She did one fundraiser for Marty Stewart. He has a museum, a country music museum in Philadelphia, Mississippi. She decided to do one show for him. And tickets went on sale months and months before. I waited in line to get tickets and went to see Dolly Parton at a 500-seater, 12 rows back. It was the best. And she was like, this is great. I would have packed certain clothes if I knew it was going to be Dolly Parton. I was like, damn it. If I only realized that and brought one of your friends over to your house to pick out outfits that you would have worn. And that's what's in the other bag. And it was all her tassels.
Oh my God.
All her boots, different outfits.
Stop.
It was the best. It was so good. It was so
That
fun.
is the best story I've ever heard so far.
Now you see why she is now his ex-girlfriend. He worshiped her, and she's an ex now. You should only have one God, and you should worship no one or nothing else. Here's another example of weak men and nasty women. Watch this from X.
I came in here. You didn't even tell me I was doing anything to rectify the situation. Not gonna get out my face. Somebody give me the number. Who your general manager? I come here every day for my lunch break. Eat.
Little fat boy, hold on to her mama. Isn't that a good example for the son?
Pick it all up. I ain't destroying it. I'm making it messy in this. Call the fucking police. Call them.
This is really good for the boy.
This how you end.
All I wanted to do was just order some food. Look what I gotta go through.
Amazing. She hate her daddy, her mama, and God. And what do you think that boy life is going to be now? He already built like her, fat like her. Think about the hell that's in him now. And this is so deep. So deep. This is Bible Thought for Thursday. And I just want to give you two quick scriptures. The word! And then how they relate. This first scripture is, I want to point you, or for those who want it, point you to the way or how to deal with criticism. Because, and I'll explain that. One thing I want you to know, you're going to get them in your head and emotion, and you're going to get them outside of you, inside of other people. Because you're still dealing with the devil one way or another. He works through other people too, when he can't get you to overreact within yourself. And so I want to show you how to deal with criticism. This is from John 10:10. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they might have life and have it to the fullest. Here it says the full. Some Bible says the fullest. You are supposed to be having life to the fullest. You're not supposed to be miserable. You're not supposed to be angry. You're not supposed to be feeling insecure. You're not supposed to have jealousy and strife and revenge. You're not supposed to be lonely. You're not supposed to have suicidal thoughts. You're not supposed to deal with all these false identities. Christ came and made it possible so you don't have that, but you just don't know it yet. But be sober-minded. Be watchful. The devil prowls around like a roaring lion seeking someone to devour. Isn't that amazing? And so here's what that means. In your mind, in your thoughts, in your imagination, which are not your own, and emotion, the devil is prowling around, roaring around in your mind and emotion, trying to devour you, trying to destroy you. And unfortunately, with most people, he's doing it. He is pretending to have, he's like the government, he's pretending to have real power, and he doesn't, because he knows that most people are going to listen to him. Most people are going to believe it's them. Most people are going to overreact. Most people are going to allow the demons, the devil, his little demons, to destroy them. And then the devil inside of other people, because the devil lives in human beings, the devil will use them to go and try to destroy someone else. Go after that person. So you can get a thrill of feeling good, of life. That person don't have a right to be free. You go after them so you can feel good. And he will send those demons after you as well. And if you are a man or a woman that cannot be defeated by the devil, because now you can see, he's going to be an army of people outside of you, because he dwells in them, to go after you too. But they have no power if you see what's going on in you. That's why God said through Christ, be sober-minded, be clear, be watchful, watch those thoughts and feelings. That's all you got to do is watch them. They are not you. This is for every human being on this side of heaven. I know most don't want it, most won't, but the few that will. You're supposed to watch those thoughts and not identify with them as you. Don't call them you. They're not. Those are evil spirits. Those are that is Satan and his little demon roaring as a lion, but he's weak. He has no power, no authority. That's why he has to convince you with thoughts and feelings to act out and hurt yourself and try to hurt others. And believe me, he will build an army against you. An army of demons inside your mind and emotion, and an army of demons inside of other people. And even the Christians will go after you. Don't you worry. Not just the Bible thumper Christians, those that love Jesus and believe Jesus is God, and they just love, they'll go after you too, because they just know about God, but they're worshiping the devil. Here's an example of a person that this is happening to, and as far as I can tell, he's dealing with it perfectly. Fox, Clarence Thomas, has been the subject of scrutiny from progressive reporters and pundits on numerous occasions. But do you hear Clarence Thomas whining about it, complaining, bagging down, blaming? He knows something that the average person does not know. And some people, men and women, are starting to wake up to it, and you will know too. And when they come after you, without your effort, they can't touch you. And when they can't touch you, they go and build an army. They're going to find some kind of way, because they're working on behalf of evil, and they call it love. They say, I'm doing it because I love you. I'm trying to destroy you because I love you. That's another trick of the devil. Clarence Thomas is not reacting to this at all. And I happen to have met with him over the years. I'm telling you, whatever is driving Donald Trump is driving Clarence Thomas. These men are rare in today's society. CNN, former Star Trek actor George Takei called Supreme Court Justice Thomas a clown in blackface. Watch this from CNN.
He has been adored by generations of Trekkies, but today, veteran actor George Takei is getting slammed on social media over some inflammatory comments he made about Supreme Court Justice, specifically Clarence Thomas. These remarks coming in the wake of Thomas's stance on the recent Supreme Court ruling on marriage equality. Takei is gay. Justice Thomas, one of 4 dissenters in that decision.
He is a clown in blackface sitting on the Supreme Court. He gets me that angry. I'm sure. He doesn't belong there. And for him to say slaves had dignity, I mean, doesn't he know that slaves were in chain, that they were whipped on the back? This man does not belong in the Supreme Court. He is an embarrassment. He is a disgrace to America.
Amazing. And that's not that guy's speaking that. That is evil through him. It's not him. And I promise you, when you see the evil in your mind and emotion, you're going to see it in others, and you're going to know it's not them. And in knowing it's not them, it won't bother you. You're just with them well. You won't fight with the devil. You don't owe the devil any explanation at all. Zero. That man, Takei, whatever his name is, Takei, George, he's miserable. While he's attacking Clarence Thomas, Justice Clarence Thomas, he's burning in fire of hell in his mind and body. He is miserable. And every human being that does that to another human, and I'm telling you this because I counsel with a lot of folks, and they're so afraid of the attacks. But just know that when people are attacking you, it's because they are miserable. They are in hell. They are burning. That's why what you do to others, you do it to yourself. You're already burning. That's why you're attacking. You're in hell. So stop taking it personal. Isn't that amazing? From the nationalpost.com, late night host attempts to bribe black Supreme Court justices with cash. A guy by the name of John Oliver, host of Last Week Tonight, has publicly offered Clarence Thomas $1 million a year to immediately resign from his position. Watch this from Last Week Tonight.
And you deserve a break, you know, away from the meanness of Washington, so you can be surrounded by the regular folks whose lives you've made demonstrably worse for decades now. And the good news is, I think we can help you there, because since your favourite mode of travel might be in need of an upgrade, we are excited to offer you this brand new, top-of-the-line Prevost Marathon motor coach. Look at this beauty, Clarence. So that's the offer. $1 million a year, Clarence, and a brand new condo on wheels. And all you have to do in return is sign the contract and get the off the Supreme Court.
The people who are living in hell within themselves and on the earth, they don't want you to leave hell. Come back, Clarence Thomas. We'll give you $1 million a year. We'll give you a brand new truck, car, whatever that is, SU, RFV. Come back. Don't leave. Stay in hell with us. Don't go. Satan is like, that's right. Go and get him. Bring him back. One soul lost is too many. One person dared to leave the group is too many. Because if this one person leave hell, the group, and group thinking, that means something's wrong with us. Go get them. And Satan is trying to draw you back in your thoughts and feelings. And if that doesn't work, he'll use the demons inside of others. Go after him or her. Don't let them get away. Don't let that soul go. And they're like, okay, Daddy. Daddy's Satan, God of all God, we'll go and get him. Even if you're a foreigner. It's spirits, folks. I'm telling you. Stop fighting with the devil in your mind and emotions, and stop fighting with the devil outside of you, inside of others. And the devil will have a hissy fit. And those people don't realize that that's what's happening to them. They don't realize that's what's happening. They don't know they're working on behalf of the devil. They think it's them. They think that they're their thoughts and emotions. Just like Christians think that they're saved. Just because they know the Bible. Just because they go to church and they went down to the front of the church and accepted Jesus. Now I believe I'm saved, and it's just a belief. It's just an intellectual thought. And they're not saved. They have no love. It's amazing. They have no love. I would pay attention to what's happening inside of me to understand what's happening outside of you, inside of human beings are wicked until their heart changes. And the young generation got it bad because they have not heard about good. They have not heard about a return to the Father. They truly believe that their dirty, evil nature is them. They don't know. And so I'm telling you this because it's happening to every human being, but only a few are seeking that way out. Only a handful. Most people love their misery. And if you try to leave hell, I heard this amazing story I think I'll share on Sunday about one guy took this trip with a bunch of people and he realized that he was miserable. He was in hell. And he wanted out and all hell broke loose. The group will not let you go on your own. They don't want you to leave hell. They want you in hell with them. They don't want one person to escape hell because they are working on behalf of evil. And I want to show you Justice Thomas. Does Justice Clarence Thomas seem to be worried about this? This is from Fox. Clarence Thomas ripped into his critics in the media, prompting roars of laughter from a Dallas audience. Watch this from C-SPAN.
One of the things I say in response to the media is when they talk about, or especially early on, about the way I did my job, I said, I will absolutely leave the court when I do my job as poorly as you do yours. And that was meant as a compliment, really.
See there? But you got to see the evil in you and return to the Father in order to see how to deal with evil in others. Because others are so wicked at heart, once you change, they cannot handle that light. They don't like that, And they stay up late at night and get up early in the morning to figure out how to get you. Because they're working on behalf of evil and they just don't realize it. Well, some do, most don't, some do. If you don't love all, you love none. If you don't love your enemy, you love no one. You're lying. You can't love this one and hate that one. Love this one and hate that one. You have to love all or none. It's just the way it is. The most hated group on this side of heaven, outwardly hated, though they hate all groups. If you don't love one, you love none. But white people are the most hated, outwardly hated. They say it out loud because they're afraid to say it about the other groups. If they were not afraid to say it about the other group, they would, they'll be saying it about the other groups too. They're just afraid that the whole other group would jump on them and take their stuff or take something or whatever, right? But white people are the most hated people. And it's so interesting in that the whites have nothing to do with the issues of the other people, period. Zero. And yet, they're being blamed for everything in their own country. They founded, discovered, created the greatest country on this side of heaven. And they're being blamed. And the white people are so quiet about it. I know inwardly they're thinking, this is not true. They might be angry about it, but they won't say anything. Watch this from MSNBC. MSNBC's Morning Joe featured an author duo who railed against white rural Americans as a threat to democracy. Watch this from MSNBC.
Joining us now, Professor of Political Science at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, Tom Schaller, and journalist and opinion writer Paul Waldman. Their new book, out tomorrow, is entitled White Rural Rage, The Threat to American Democracy.
They're the most racist, xenophobic, anti-immigrant, and anti-gay geodemographic group in the country. Second, they're the most conspiracist group. QAnon support and subscribers, election denialism, COVID denialism and scientific skepticism, Obama birtherism. They're also the most strongly white nationalist and white Christian nationalist. And fourth, they are most likely to excuse or justify violence as an acceptable alternative to peaceful public discourse.
So you mentioned a lot of negative factors about this demographic.
Isn't that amazing? What other group can you sit and attack like that and quote unquote get away with it? What other group other than white? It's a spiritual battle, and you're not going to know it for sure, not just because I said it. You're not going to know it for sure until you see it within yourself. Because what's happening on the outside of you, inside is what's happening on the inside of you is happening on the outside of you, inside of others. Foster's reported a Harvard professor said that all hell broke loose. Speaking of holding on to the lie, all hell broke loose, and he was forced to go out in public with armed security after he published a study that officers were 23.8% less likely to shoot a black. Isn't that something? This Harvard professor proved that officers were 23.8% less likely to shoot at blacks and 8.5% less likely to shoot at Hispanics. Let's see here, 8.5% less likely to shoot at Hispanics than they were to shoot at whites. And because he said that, he got threats. Because the people prefer to believe a lie. The truth is not going to get their money, they think. Watch this from Free Press.
I collected a lot of data. We collected millions of observations on everyday use of force that wasn't lethal. We collected thousands of observations on lethal force. And it was in this moment, in 2016, that I realized people lose their minds when they don't like the result. But we didn't find any racial bias in police shootings. Now, that was really surprising to me because I expected to see it. And I went to go give it, and my God, all hell broke loose. It was a 104-page, dense, academic economics paper. It was posted for 4 minutes when I got my first email. This is full of doesn't make any sense. And I wrote back, how'd you read it that fast? And I had colleagues take me to the side and say, don't publish this. You'll ruin your career.
Isn't that amazing? And he black. Once you believe the lie, you don't want to hear the truth. The lie feels better to you. It's more of a thrill than it is the truth. So you think. They rather hear that police are shooting at more blacks than they are whites.
I mean, it might be obvious. It is something we talk about all the time, but it's just amazing to me how what we do to avoid feeling bored. You know?
Yeah.
It's like that relationships to the thoughts that we have, like dancing with the devil, is something we engage in just to avoid feeling quote unquote bored. Like, we don't want to move on because we'll get that feeling of it not going our way or not feeling bored. I was doing the silent prayer last night, and it just, like, this is something I've thought about before, but it sort of hit me in a new way. You know, I saw it clearer than I usually do because I got a thought, and then it led to another thought and another thought and another thought. And I thought, you know, how did that happen? You know, where did that come from? And I realized, you know, it came to me, and the devil said, you know what? You should think about this. Will be interesting. Think about this for a while. You don't want to be bored. You don't want to be bored, right?
Wow.
You should just think about this for a little. Play with this for a little while. And then I did. And then once he got me, it led to another one and another one and another one. But it's like that's all you've ever known, you know. So that feeling of boredom is almost like losing it's like breaking up with someone or losing a friend. You know what I mean? That you've had your whole life.
Because it's another false identity that you've identified with all your life, thinking that boredom was good or bad or something, so you try not to deal with it. It's just another false identity.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and boredom is a feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just as evil as anything else.
You can hear people say, "Oh, I feel bored."
I know, right? And the old phrase is only boring people feel bored, or only boring people get bored. But in any case, I don't know. I started looking at it in a new way, like because like I said, he gave me a thought, and I took it, and I said, well, I don't want to feel bored. This will be interesting. This will be fun to think about this for a while.
And that's what happened when we communicate with him at all. He would give you one thought, and as soon as you accept it, he'll give you another one.
Right.
He'll give you another, then you find yourself doing everything he says.
Right, like Larry, who just called. At the beginning of the call, he said, I pretty much know what to do.
Yeah.
He already knows, but the devil's giving him all these other thoughts to avoid from feeling bored, because he's so used to getting that thrill of dancing with the devil.
Yeah, amazing.
I don't know.
Amazing. I love it.
Boredom.
It gets better.